Good evening, I'm Steve Nunez.
And I'm Jennifer Jones. Thanks for joining us.
A sad and emotional day that started off with hundreds gathering to memorialize DPS officer Tim Huffman, killed in the line of duty last week.
You will be in our hearts forever. You will always be remembered.
From a hero's last call to an aerial salute, today an emotional tribute in memory of a fallen hero. More on his memorial in just a moment.
Huffman's memorial took place on a day already dedicated to honor and remember those who have been killed in the line of duty.
13 on Your Side reporter Marie Hamill attended tonight's services and joins us live with more on the annual Law Enforcement Memorial. Marie.
It was an emotional night tonight as family, friends, and local law enforcement paid tribute to officers who have died in the line of duty. Now, DPS officer Tim Huffman's family was also in attendance tonight's services, and Warren Huffman, Tim's twin brother, tells me he's so proud of his brother and he hopes that people will remember him as a hero. An evening dedicated to remembering law enforcement officers who have either been killed or have died in the line of duty. The Honor Guard raises the American flag to pay tribute to our heroes.
Too many heroes that we've grown to know and love are no longer with us.
John Ortolano with the Arizona Department of Public Safety reminds us how law enforcement officers risk their lives every day protecting our communities.
Yuma, Deputy George Lai.
One by
Deputy
one,
Charles
they read the name of a
Escalante.
fallen officer and place a rose inside a vase, an act of everlasting respect for those officers who are no longer with us.
And Officer Tim Hoffman.
Among those who will never be forgotten, DPS officer Tim Huffman. His twin brother Warren struggling with the pain, knowing memories is all he has left to embrace.
Our family is a little down today, trying to absorb this sudden death of our brother, who we all love very much. It's just a shock trying to realize that he's no longer going to be with us.
The law enforcement memorial takes place every year on May 15th, and Warren Huffman tells me he hopes people will remember his brother Tim for his service and service to his country. Live from DPS Yuma, I'm Marie Hamill for 13 on Your Side.
Now, earlier today, the community also came together for a tribute and final call to DPS officer Tim Huffman.
Tonight, we begin our team coverage with 13 on Your Side reporter Felicia Martinez, who attended today's emotional memorial service.
During today's memorial service, loved ones say DPS officer Tim Huffman, above all, possessed the ultimate willingness to help and serve others. One friend who attended the police academy with Huffman says Huffman died while doing what he did best, helping another person in need. Family, friends, and fellow officers stood for fallen hero Tim Huffman. The DPS officer was killed in the line of duty after a tanker truck crashed into his patrol car last week.
I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
First they prayed, fellow officers then saluted. Together, his colleagues remembered Huffman as a selfless and dedicated officer who served his country in Iraq and then his state for 14 years as an Arizona Department of Public Safety officer.
I know the burdens on your heart are heavy and seemingly much to bear. As you know, I believe that we all called to serve in God's plan. As such, I believe you with Tim that day because that's where you were supposed to be at that given time.
Captain George Anderson was with his close friend when he died. He says Huffman has always possessed traits essential to being a law enforcement officer.
More personally, I found Tim possessed the qualities of a good human being: compassion, kindness, respect, and love of others.
Anderson says serving others was just part of Huffman's DNA, a man who truly loved being a DPS officer.
To Tim, this was not a profession, it was his calling. It has been a real privilege having Tim as part of our family. Timmy, my trooper, my friend, my brother. Rest in peace.
Today, we also learned Huffman has a twin brother, Warren, and a younger brother named Paul.
My brother was 8 minutes behind me at birth. Nevertheless, he was always excelling in front of me. I know it will be difficult for my family going forward without Tim in our lives.
Warren says rather than mourn his brother's death and be left with sadness, he says he'll choose to celebrate his life, preserve his memory, because that's exactly how Tim Huffman would want it.
Tim, as your twin brother and a family member, we will never forget, and you will always be preserved in our family.
Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared.
Today's ceremony showed just how many lives Officer Tim Huffman really touched during his time on Earth. He was well respected and will be missed by many. In the Newsplex, I'm Felicia Martinez, 13 on your side.
An emotional 21-gun salute was held outside the Yuma Civic Center following the memorial.
We continue our team coverage now with 13 on your side reporter Karen Castro.
As you can imagine, it was a very tearful and emotional tribute in remembrance of a fallen hero named Tim Huffman. Led by the traditional sound of bagpipers, fellow DPS officers carried Tim Huffman's flag-draped coffin as hundreds of family, friends, and colleagues gathered to honor his life. Peace officers stood in motionless silence, while others filled with sadness, grief, and sorrow turned to each other for comfort.
Obviously shock.
Emotional and powerful words by Captain George Anderson, who was with Huffman the night of the deadly crash.
And when he was still in the vehicle, it was desperation, frustration.
A gun salute in remembrance, followed by the folding of the American flag, the first fold, a symbol of Huffman's life.
Ceremonial!
Followed by an aerial tribute to commemorate the 14-year veteran's dedication to his job. And for the last time, a hero's last call.
You will be in our hearts forever. You will always be remembered. We will now take you to your final rest. Godspeed, my friend. Orders! Out!
Officer Tim Huffman will be buried in his home state of Illinois in a private burial for family and close friends. In the newsroom, Karen Castro, 13 on your side.